So in this video, this is what we're going to be creating.
Now, there are 5 raw truths that no one really talks about when it comes to building wealth, especially...
So it's actually quite simple. It shouldn't take us too long, but the reason I chose this specific animation is because one, no one's done it yet. It's his latest video that just came out, but two, there's actually a lot of different things going on at once, even though they're all simple. So this is a great beginner tutorial to kind of show you, and then also it's going to be there's going to be some few tips and tricks if you're kind of a little bit more advanced that you might have known. So let's just jump right into it. You pulled up After Effects, you click New Project. Okay, we're going to click New Comp and have a 19 by 1080 composition. Okay, and that's just going to be at 30 frames per second. So nothing too fancy. Perfect. So this shows up now. Okay, this is going to be our video. We're going to go down here. I guess you can click it anywhere. You're just going to right click anywhere, click new, and then click solid. Okay, and then just click OK. Doesn't matter what color or anything else is. Okay, and then to the right, we're going to have effects and presets. I might be getting there might be a lot of other things opened up. So just look for effects and presets and search up gradient ramp. And then left click and drag it onto your solid. So I changed the color, which is why the color didn't matter, okay? So the start color is gonna be, they always do like this dark red sort of color. So something probably like that. And then this code down here, we're actually gonna Control C it, so copy it and put it for our end color. And then we're just gonna change it a little bit like lighter. So something like that. Okay, so this is something that Iman basically just always has in his videos. It's just a very small gradient ramp. You can hardly tell. Now, one thing he does also add is under effects, he adds vignettes. And then in this particular video, he actually has it quite strong. So we're just gonna leave it on something like that. And you can play around with the angles and stuff, but in this video, I think it's something like that, I'd say. So 198 amount and then 50 angle of view. So already the background's looking really good. And that was really fast. So next thing we want to do is add his little hand. Okay, and we're just going to search up hand. And I believe I chose any of these will really work, but basically we're just looking for a hand that kind of looks like a 5, something like that. Now I was actually able to find one already. Okay, so this is the hand that I chose. You can choose any of them and just download it. And then if it has a background like this, especially for this tutorial, the way I would use it, just search up color key in the effects, drag it on, get this little pin drop, and then select the white. And then put up the color tolerance just before the hand starts getting taken out. So as you can see, there's very little white. And if you really want to get precise with it, you can just right there. But for the sake of this tutorial, this is just how I'm going to do it. So yeah. So there we go. And then it's at the beginning, we're just going to move this hand down here, just off screen. And we're going to go to the hand. So if you click enter, we're just going to rename it hand and then click enter again, just so our stuff stays organized. And then we're going to click P for position. And we're going to place a keyframe there. Move it to the 2-second mark and then place another keyframe just by clicking this one over here. Okay. And then at the end of the keyframe, okay, so let's go to the end keyframe, just right there. We're going to drag up this layer and then just drag it up about here. Now his hand is actually a little bit bigger. So I'm going to click S and scale it up a little bit. I'd say something like that. There we go. But then that means that if we click P, we'll have to drag it down because obviously I made it bigger. So at the beginning, we'll have to drag it down more. And then this is kind of what we got. So we're going to make it at 1 second though. So it only takes 1 second for the hand to pop up. And there we go. Now, obviously this looks super trash. So what we're going to do to make it not look trash is get these 2 keyframes, click F9, click this graph button right here. Graph editor, you should have something that looks like this. And then if you want to zoom in, you can click Alt and left click, spacebar to move around, spacebar and left click, or just click this button right here, fit all graphs to view. Okay, and then you can zoom out 1 or 2 notches. So we're just gonna left click and drag the very end of this graph, this node, and then it's gonna show these yellow nodes, and then we're gonna grab this node, drag it all the way to the left, And then this one kind of like right around there. So that the peak is around like, looks like 25,000 or so. So that way, there you go. The hand looks a lot smoother when it comes in. It kind of speeds up and then it slows down. So it looks a lot more smoother. Okay, and this is a graph that Iman and just anyone really always uses this kind of speed. So there's that already. So, and then at the beginning, he also has this thing where like the fingers come together. Come together. If you would want to do that, I'm not sure if I'll go too in depth with this, to be honest, because I'm trying to make it, that's kind of a little bit more advanced and maybe for another video. But what you would want, honestly, would be to go up here, this little puppet pin tool, make one like probably in the middle of the thumb, and then one in the middle of the hand, and then one for each finger. So when you click V or like the hand tool, when you move it, it should move. Maybe. Oh, I made that for the red solid. Okay, sorry. So do that, but make sure you're selecting the hand when you do that. There we go. So I did it just for the hand this time. So now when I move it, see how it kind of like moves like this stuff. And then I probably maybe want to add one like down here so that it's not like moving these bits. So that looks pretty good. And then that way, when I move just the thumb, it moves only the thumb. And then if I click U, it's going to show up all my keyframe for my hands. So that way I can go to the very beginning and maybe even drag this up a little bit. But that way I can go to the very beginning, and I want this to be like the end zone, obviously. So what I'll probably do, honestly, is just move a little bit to the end and then get the puppet position tool and have it like, he has it come like, let's say just there and over there, maybe a little bit more. This might look weird. Okay. Oh, okay. I see. So it looks like he moves just the tip of the fingers. We'll move just like a little bit, like ever so slightly. Okay. Just so that way kind of does that. And then we're going to grab these keyframes you just made and we're just going to move them to the beginning. So that way, it might take a while to load. We might have to go into like half mode. There we go. There we go. So that way you can see his fingers are like moving and such. That's how you would do it though. And obviously you guys can perfect it. I didn't care too much, but honestly, even this kind of looks pretty good. But that's how you would do it, guys, if you wanted to do them. And then obviously you would add your graphs in if you wanted to do your graphs as well. And just play around with that. But like I said, this is kind of a different video and I don't really want to go too into this. So anyways, we ended up doing it a little bit. Okay, so there's that. Looks great. Kind of looks a little demented. He also has this text at the top. So he has raw. And then we're just going to click the raw and then click S to bring up the scale. Scale it up. And then scale it up to your desired one first, kind of how big you want it. So I'd say around there. And then if we click Control D to copy it and just drag it over here, then this way we can put in truths because he has raw truths in the video. So something like this, and then obviously make space. And then we want them to be, get the raw and the truths and put them underneath the hand. So that way the hand overlaps over this. Okay. So he has raw truths. Once again, I'm not going to pick the exact font that he has. The text, we're going to click it. We're going to get rid of, if you click it, this right here, if we get rid of that, it actually gets rid of the film. So we're going to checkmark the box underneath it instead so that it shows only the outlines. And then we're going to make it white. Kind of like he has it in the video over there. And then same thing with the other one. So click on the truths, uncheck that one, check that one, and then make it white. So that way we have this like transparency. And then it looks like in his video, if we click T to bring up the opacity, it looks like his is honestly like pretty low. So the opacity is kind of something like that. So far we're looking really good, guys. And then one thing that Iman Ghadzi loves to add is a very slight like animation in the back. So if you go to YouTube and you search up film grain overlay, you're going to find all of this. This is what Iman loves to use. So just look for one that's good for you, preferably one that has like a nice plain background. So this one honestly looks pretty good. Okay, so yes, this is actually honestly the one I think I have, but this is perfect. And then you just want to download it. So once you download it, you put it in here. It's gonna, first of all, we want to scale it. So bring up S and then scale it so that it fits most of the screen. And this is what it looks like. You can see it looks like that. Obviously, we don't want this black. We want just these little white particles. So to do that, you're going to go to toggle switches and modes. So we can see that the mode is, so we can see this little mode, because you might only be able to see this. So click toggle switches so that you can see this sort of layout. And then we want to make it screen. Okay, so now you can see that it's kind of looking like that. It looks, first of all, it's way too distracting. It's way too bright. So what we're going to do is just cut some of it off. So Control-Shift-D will cut where your blue like marker is. We're going to go right click it, click time, time stretch, and then do like 300%. So that way it's 3 times slower. So we can see it's not as distracting. Even this though, click T for opacity and then lower it, because lower it's super low. This is how he has it. So now it's very subtle, like so subtle you almost don't even notice it. And this is what Iman uses like all the time. Okay, now one very, very last thing that we have to do is this raw truths. It has this sort of feather where it kind of looks like the bottom starts to disappear. So we're going to add that in really quick. And this is another great way to kind of learn masking. So we're going to go into raw, or honestly, we're going to go into raw. And then we're going to go to the top where it says rectangle tool. Just choose a rectangle shape. And we're going to make a rectangle. Oh, what just happened? Okay, and then we're going to, oh my God. So go to raw, rectangle, make a rectangle shape like this. And then it should start to cut off your sort of text like this. If not, if it doesn't do that, just try again. Sometimes it kind of glitches out. Like I had to do it just that once you saw there. So now we have this. And then we're going to want to go down to the bottom here. Click F. That brings up mask feather. And then just drop it to like, honestly, I'd say right there. 21 pixels, I'd say is kind of what it's looking like on his screen. So then we're going to want to click truths, rectangle tool, and then same thing, bam, click F, and then let's do 21 pixels. So bam, now guys, we're looking exactly like Iman Ghadzi's sort of video. The only thing we want to do is animate this text really quick. So we're going to click raw. We're going to go to the beginning, click position, add one at the beginning, and then kind of move it out of the way, and then add another one at the beginning, except this time we're going to move it up off the screen, like right there, so that it drops down. Okay. And then we're going to F9 them, go to the graph, and then same thing. We want to do that sort of curve that goes like this, so that it starts off fast and then it slows down, except we want it even faster. So let's bring these closer together. So now it looks like this. And that honestly might be a little too fast, but obviously play around with like your settings, whatever you guys want. Okay. So we're going to do that. And then it kind of looks like, I'd say around this start, the truth starts to come down. So same thing, click P for position, move it over like a little bit, like over there, and then another P, F9 them. Actually, first we have to move this one up, the beginning one. So F9 there, and then we can make this same sort of slope. There you go. So now they kind of come down like this, and this is exactly like how he has it in the video. The only thing that might not be the same is kind of the timing. All right, so now we want to zoom in because in his video, it kind of zooms in a little bit. So we're going to do that. So at the very last keyframe, we're going to click new, camera, and then I'm going to just have 50 millimeter. We'll just have, one node and kind of leave everything like this. I don't usually play around with it. Okay, and then right here, it's telling me I need to make things 3D. So, or else it's not going to work. So actually to do things 3D, toggle switches in mode so you can see this layout, and then just check everything off this little like box right here. And then Just get rid of all these. There we go. So now we have this box checked out. That means that it's all 3D. Okay. We want to go to the beginning of the camera, have the position key marked, and then go to the end, and then have a very slight zoom in. So kind of something like that. Honestly, we want the zoom in to be even slower. Probably something like that. Okay. So it's a very, very subtle zoom in. We might honestly want it even a little bit more stronger. There we go. And then we're going to have it at around here. We're going to move this right there. And then we're going to actually have it instantly go to a next frame. So we want these frames right next to each other, okay? Because this frame is going to be way like up here. Oh, whoops. So just play around with it like right around there. Okay, so that way it just kind of boom, instantly goes right there, okay? And obviously the hand's in the way now. So we want to go to the hand, P for position, put one right here at the beginning, and then just one keyframe behind it, and we want it at the bottom. So just like that. And this is how Iman has it in his video. Okay. And then we want, once again, a very subtle zoom for probably about like a second or so. So we're going to go back to the camera and then just have a very subtle zoom. So that way it's not as harsh when these kind of cut transitionally because they're already both zooming in. All right. So now this is what we have fully. We have the raw truths come down with the hand coming up with the overlay stuff in the background. Okay, the fingers kind of separate, which can be touched on another video. It's slowly zooming in, and then it zooms into this shot right here as well. All right, so then he has this diamond sort of thing pop up. So right here at the beginning where we switch sort of like scenes, I guess, we want the diamond to pop up and start tracing itself up with the numbers. So to do that, we're going to go to the top, click, make sure you don't have anything selected down here. Click the polygon tool, make a polygon, okay? You might be thinking, that's not a polygon, that's like a hexagon or whatever this is. So to change that, make sure you have the properties tab open in the right, and then the points, we're gonna change that to 5, from 5 to 4, okay? So that way we have a diamond now. And then just go to click R and we rotate it -50 degrees, okay? So that way it's kind of, or it might just be 50 degrees. No, I think it's -50. Anyways, we have, that way we have, actually, before we do that, before we rotate it, make sure you click Control Alt Home and then rotate it -50. That places the anchor point. It's rotating from this instead of like down here where it was or something. Okay, so now we have this sort of diamond shape and we just want to scale it down so that it can actually fit like between the fingers or wherever we have it here. All right, so now we have this kind of like nice little diamond shape. Yours will probably look something like, it'll probably have a color. So go to the top, click where it says the word fill, and then click no fill. So that way you only get the outline. And then the outline, probably make it like 10, or actually probably like 20. Something like 20, okay? And then he has it animated. But first, Control-Shift-D, and then cut this diamond so that it starts right here. Okay, so we have the diamond. We want it animated. So we're going to go to the shape layer. So I'm just going to click enter to name it diamond. Go to the shape layer, go to contents, add, and then trim paths. Okay, and then we want to open up trim paths down here. The start, so you can see right here, it's going to start, but we want it to start, I believe, from the other side. Yeah, we want it to start from the bottom. So there's a few ways to do that, and that's just to, here we go, offset it so that it's right. The start is at the bottom instead, so that it starts that way. We want it to also open up the other way. So instead of doing start, we're going to do the end, so that the end is the thing opening up this way, okay? So we want it, we'll make a keyframe for the end, move it over, make another keyframe, have the end at 0%. So now we have this sort of shape, And obviously we want to make this 3D too, actually. I guess making it 3D scaled it, well, made it a lot bigger. So we want to make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, once again, it looks dog freaking doo-doo because we have to click here, click F9. And this time I think we're going to add it, kind of make this sort of line. So we just bring in the two lines together so that it kind of looks like that. It needs to be a lot slower though, so the keyframes need to be separated. So something like this is not too bad. Okay, so and then obviously we also want to have the feather kind of like we did for the word. So click diamond. We're actually going to do the pen tool for this one, and then click tool creates a mask. And then we're going to create this shape once again. Doesn't have to be perfect. Once again, click F and then have the feather. Something like that is what Iman has it like. So now it's looking a lot more like Iman's. And then he also has the number come up. So we want the number 1 to come up, and then let's just scale it up like that. And then this time I think he does actually have a stroke on it. So we'll make the stroke like, have it white, and then get rid of the stroke. Sorry, the fill. We'll make the fill white. My 1, I don't really like the way this 1 looks in this font. Kind of looks like a 7, but that is a 1. And then we move the beginning to same thing, like right when our thing switches. And then one thing I don't like is, why is this diamond starting very late like that? I might have to move this a little bit over. There we go. So now it's starting basically as soon as we switch the frame, so that the 1, first of all, we need to make it right in the middle. So somewhere like around there looks pretty good. Okay, and then to make it look like this number 1 is going to come up from the bottom and disappear. First, we're going to go to the end so we can see where our diamond is. Right click, new, solid, doesn't matter the color. Have it at the very top though. Create our mask. And then, let's see, it's actually something more like this. So have it end right near the diamond. Okay, so we have this giant like solid mask. Go to the 1, click track mac, and then click the red solid. So this way, whenever the 1 leaves or enters that shape you created, so if it leaves, it's going to be gone. If it enters, it's going to be there. So we're going to want to create a position. So I don't know what position that is, but create a position, move it to the end, make another one, have it come from the bottom. And then obviously we're probably going to want to speed it up. So this way it kind of looks like it comes in from the bottom. It looks like it's actually coming in a little bit too low. So I'm going to move the red solid up quite a little bit higher, so that it kind of looks like it comes in from there instead. Okay. And then just F9 them, easy ease. There we go. So this way it kind of looks like it comes from just kind of out of nowhere, to be honest. Okay, so this is what we have, comes out. The very last thing we want to do is add a feather for the number 1. So move towards the end. So make sure you have the 1 selected, the rectangle selected, kind of like we did in the other one, guys, with the words and such. And then sort of change the feather, something like that. Play around with it. So now it looks a little bit, just looks a little bit better, I guess. I might want a little bit more feather there, but you guys play around with it. Okay, the only thing I don't like is the speed of this. So we're actually gonna fix this. First of all, we're gonna go back to the graph editor and just make it, instead of this weird hump, most people honestly don't even use that hump, guys, to be honest. So we're just gonna make it go a little bit faster like this. I don't know why it's starting off so late. Like, it takes a few frames, so I gotta move this back. But either way, there we go. That looks a lot better. Now we're talking. Okay, so this is what we have so far, guys. The hand comes in. Hand probably comes in a little bit too fast, I'd say. But this part looks really good. Okay, so now what we have so far, guys, is obviously the hand zooming in and then the diamond. And that's really the hard part. The next thing should take us about 5 minutes. So first of all, there's a huge mess down here. I just want to select everything and click U. So it takes away the keyframes. I don't care about them. Also, these 3 layers right here are the diamond ones. So we want to clean them up. Like this extra long bit right here isn't needed. So I'm just going to Control Shift D to kind of get rid of that. So now these 3 are all equaled. So it looks nice. And then we're going to Shift left click them. We're going to go to Pre-Compose and name it Diamond 1. Okay. And then we're going to Control Shift D where our first frame was. So, because we don't need, same thing, we don't need that empty space because we're in this frame here. And then it looks like this. Okay, now you can see the diamond when we pre-composed it went kind of weird. So double click the pre-comp, double left click the pre-comp so we can go into it. Go on the diamond, click scale, and then scale it to like 76-ish or whatever, you know, size we're looking for. And then this one kind of looks back like the normal one we had. It just sometimes glitches out like that. Not much of a biggie. Okay, and then we're going to go to the camera, click U to bring up the position. Go 1 frame forward by clicking page down and then placing a keyframe there. And then move that keyframe over like to the left-hand side. Maybe zoom it out a little bit. Somewhere like around here. This is kind of like where Iman had it. Was just somewhere on the left-hand side here. Okay, perfect. So that way, it just instantly changes to the next clip. But we want to get rid of Control Shift D that so that when we go to the next clip, the diamond doesn't come with us. So I just cut it at the pre-comp right here. Okay. Now what we want to do is we actually want to go click this button right here. Make sure you're in if you're in the effect controls panel or any other panel here, you won't be able to see it. So make sure you're under the project panel. Go to create a new comp. When you're going to name it Diamond 2. And then go to the Diamond 1. Select everything and Control V, copy and paste it into the Diamond 2. So that we can change the text of the 1 into a 2. So this way, we can go back to the project, get the Diamond 2, cut it once again at the beginning of where number 1 started. And then we're just going to move that 2 diamond to the beginning of where our frame was. So that it starts just like that. So it's starting the exact same as the number 1 starts. Exact same. There we go. The diamond kind of starts a little late. I just noticed, but you know, you could have fixed that by doing whatever. Or it just looks a little odd actually with the number 2 now that it's not number 1. But you know, whatever. You guys kind of got the gist of it. And then, you know, you can just click P for position, move the diamond wherever you want it, like somewhere up here. And you can scale it, you know, down and up also if you want that. So, okay, so that's way too high up. So I just got to move it down. There we go. So just like that. And then we're going to do the exact same. Create a new comp. Diamond 3. Control V the text. You know, put the word or put the letter as number 3. And then get Diamond 3. Place it here. It should start where our number 1 first started. And then we're just going to place it a little bit later than our number 2. And then just move it a little bit more to like the left too. So they don't interject. There we go. So it's kind of looking like that. And that's basically, guys, how Iman had it. Obviously scale it down to the same size that this one up here was. But that's basically exactly what Iman does, guys. And then you're just going to do that for the other side. So I guess I can really show it if you guys really want. I can show it. So let's say this lasts perfect right there. Go to the camera, place a position keyframe, page down to move 1 keyframe forward. And then now that I've placed it, I can go to the left-hand side over here. I can also cut these diamonds when we switch scenes so that they don't come, you know, along with us. I can make a new comp, name it Diamond 4, and I may as well just make another one, Diamond 5, and then paste them. You know, this one can be the number 5 one, and then text, change it to number 4. And then I can bring them both in right here, bring them to the start, and then cut this little like tail at the beginning. And let's get them both actually over here. And then they should start, I think, right here. So they do this. And then all I have to do is get them into position. So doesn't really matter, but position, move this one over here. And then P for position, move this one like whatever, up here, however we want it. Okay, so now we can move them down now that we see where they are. And then obviously move this one a little bit far back. And then we do it. This is what we have, guys. So this is how it's looking. Control S to save. And there we go, guys. That's literally what we've been able to create in that short amount of time. So we have the raw truths coming down with the hand split and open. We did a little bit of puppet pen tool. We have a slow zoom. Continuing that slow zoom, we have the diamond and some masking. And then also, we'd also want to add some zoom in actually here, I think he has, when we go to these next frames. I kind of sped up towards the end because this video is already gotten a little long. I kind of talk a lot, but you guys kind of understand the gist of it all. Now remember, we're not trying to copy Iman completely. We're just trying to really understand how it is he animates and how he does certain things and whatnot. And that's exactly what we did. So I didn't want it to look exactly like Iman's. Like, I don't really care for it to look like Iman's, but now I know exactly how his animations and all that were made, so that if I ever want to do something like his, I can. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some. Let me know if you want to see more tutorials, or if you have a specific scene that you want me to do. And hopefully the next one's a little bit more professional. All right, guys. See ya.